to stay on time, hopefully today. Janice, if I can get you to turn on your sound and your video. I hope everybody had a great break, was able to check out their legs, and maybe got yourself a fresh cup of coffee or a big glass of water or whatever. So, how are you today, Janice?
I'm doing great. Oh my gosh, I've loved this. The speakers are so amazing. It's good energy. I love it.
They sure are, that's for sure. Well, I would like to introduce you, Janice, and then you can take it away. So, Janice Burt is from Sacramento, California. Last year, she set an intention to become an inspirational speaker, and since then has been making sure she fulfills her purpose. She has a desire to uplift, motivate, and encourage others along their path. Her main gift is her authenticity, and she would love to see others be free to be their most authentic selves as well. She is so excited to share her story with you and encourage you, in turn, to be able to share your story with others. She wants each of us to know that our truth will set us free. Please welcome the amazing Janice Burt.
Hi, everybody. My name is Janice Burt, and I am a worthless human being. I'm a failure. I'm a loser. I'm ugly, hideous, actually. I'm completely unlovable. I am not good enough. Can you imagine actually introducing yourself like that in real life to somebody? It may seem a little bit laughable, except for the fact that so many of us have this running narrative in our heads every day. And many times these thoughts that we have about ourselves come from events and circumstances from our youth. So things that have happened years and years ago, where we started thinking a certain thought about ourselves and then just continued thinking that thought, and then it became a belief that we have about ourselves. So for me, actually, my first thoughts about myself were actually very positive. So I was born in Sacramento, California, but when I was 8 years old, my family moved to Mexico City. And we lived there for 5 years. Now, I was this blonde-haired, blue-eyed little girl in Mexico City. So I just looked different than everybody, all the other little girls running around there. So I was treated really well, solely based on my physical appearance, really. People wanted to know me. They wanted to touch my hair. They wanted to know all about what I thought and where I was from originally. So I had this thought of, oh my gosh, I am special. I am wanted. I am valuable. So that was the beginning of my life, which was great. I was feeling pretty good about myself. And then when I was 13 years old, my family moved back to the United States. And it was junior high. It was like halfway during junior high, which you guys probably know junior high is kind of that rough year anyway, or the rough ages. And I had just been prescribed these big Coke bottle glasses, like really thick, the ones that make your eyes look really small. And I go into this school, I have no friends. Everybody already has their little clique groups. And so from day one, I am picked on and bullied. And I remember so vividly in PE, these 3 girls chasing me around the track, literally trying to pull my pants down in front of everybody. So this was like the abrupt transition for me from being up on this pedestal and thinking all these good thoughts about myself to falling flat down on my face. And so my thought then became, wait a minute, I'm not special. I'm worthless. I'm ugly. I'm not good enough to be anybody's friend. And then 3 years later, I'm in high school and I love talking. Since I was little, my dad nicknamed me Chatterbox, so I just love to talk. And so I decided to join the speech and debate team and start speaking. Well, I had practiced this speech and I had given it, it was a contest. I had given it at several levels and I had won and won. So now it's the finals. And it's me and one other girl that had made it to the top. And it was for a scholarship. I think it was like $5,000. And when you're 16 years old, that's a really big deal, right? So I had practiced this speech, you guys, probably 100 times. So I knew this speech, but it was the finals and there was a lot of people in the audience. And I stood up there, started giving it, everything was great. And then halfway through, I completely blanked. I mean, my mind just, I didn't even know my name in that moment. And for about 30 seconds, I just stood there and you could hear a pin drop in that room. And I just remember that dread just wash over me. And of course, I lost the contest. But more than that, I started thinking this new thought of I am a failure. I am a loser. So now we have I'm not good enough. I'm ugly. I'm a failure. I'm a loser. I'm not good enough to be anybody's friend. So all of these negative thoughts that I just kind of put in this backpack and I carried them with me through life. And like I said, a lot of times when we have these thoughts and we think them enough, so with repetition, these thoughts then become beliefs. There's actually this quote that says, I am are the two most important words. For what you put behind them shapes your reality. And I had carried all these thoughts and started believing all these negative beliefs about myself. And it was shaping my reality because fast forward 2 kids and a divorce later, I'm laying on the bathroom floor at 33 years old. How many of you guys have had that bathroom breakdown moment? Hopefully I'm not the only one. So I'm laying there and I'm sobbing my eyes out. My life is in shambles. I'm losing my marriage and everything that I basically had ever known. So laying on the bathroom floor, I just had to have that real deep heart-to-heart conversation with myself. And I decided I need to change something. I need to change because I was really good at blaming everybody else. I was really good at the victim mentality. But I thought, I'm the common denominator in my life. And right now, from what I can tell, fear is driving me. Fear is the driving force of my life. And not only that, I don't think very highly of myself. I keep saying these things about how horrible I am, this self-loathing. So I decided in that moment to do something different. And now looking back, I see that there were 3 steps that I took to kind of get out of that pit and start a whole new life for myself. And it's ADA. It was awareness, decision, and action. So first is awareness. Nothing can change without us knowing what is going on. And I loved what Charlotte said about that still small voice, right? It's learning how to really be introspective and look at our patterns, look at our behaviors, look at our thoughts very deeply. And sometimes we don't do that because it's painful. And some things come up that maybe we don't really want to see. We want to shelter and protect ourselves from it. But the first thing that we have to have in order to change and transform our life into a life that we're super proud of and jazzed about is awareness. So that day on the bathroom floor, I started to work on my awareness of myself. Secondly, it was a decision. We all make decisions every single day. And I will say that life is, I think there's a quote, right? Life is the sum of all your decisions. Or I know John Maxwell said, life is a matter of choices, and every choice you make makes you. So every choice that we make along the way, even the little ones, make up who we are and who we become. So I decided, okay, I need to actually make a choice. I need to decide. I need to choose to think differently about myself, and that's going to take some work. I need to choose to behave differently, and that's going to take some work. But I was committed at that point. So awareness, the decision, and then the third thing is action. And this is the most important of all of them, because intentions are great, but nothing will change without actually taking action. And Maya Angelou said, nothing works unless you do. I mean, how amazing is that? Nothing works unless we do. So we have to put in the work and the effort. We have to take that step and the leap of faith. So I decided, okay, now, mind you, all of this did not happen overnight. This has been a journey, and it continues to be a journey right now. So I'm 9 years into my journey of action. But the first thing I did, the very first thing, was I went out and I joined Toastmasters. It's a public speaking group where you learn, I'm sure many of you have heard of it, because remember what happened to me when I was 16? Well, I didn't speak publicly again for 20 years. 20 years, you guys, because of one event. And I thought, okay, that is the number one. We're gonna do this one. So I joined Toastmasters and I started speaking again. I self-published 2 books about my life because I wanted to heal those wounds. There were some family secrets that I felt like were poisoning me. And so I self-published 2 books and put my life story out into the world as a healing process for me. I studied to become a Spanish interpreter because remember, I lived in Mexico and I love Spanish. And so I became a court certified Spanish interpreter. I trained for and ran a marathon because I thought that that was impossible. I would always see these people running these long distances and I would think, I'm running around the block and I feel like I'm going to die. Like I got that crazy side ache thing. And I'm like, there's no possible way. How can you run for 26 something miles? That's crazy. So all of these things I did because I wanted to prove to myself that the true me, the deep Janice Burt, was more powerful than any of those fears, more powerful than any of the negativity. And I had such bad body image issues also that I decided to train for and compete in a bodybuilding competition. Now, this one was just last year, I think I did, or the year before. So I'm in my 40s. I have stretch marks from my kids. I have cellulite. And I didn't care because the main thing for me was training as hard as I could and then walking through that fear of standing up on a stage, being judged, because that was my worst fear. To be judged and compared to another beautiful woman was one of my really deep fears and something that was holding me back in my life. So I share this with you because I want to encourage you to face your fears. Seriously, those things that are holding you back, right on the other side of all of that is freedom. And it's peace. It's a beautiful, beautiful place to be. I want to tell you though, it's not going to look perfect. And that's okay. The second speech, I believe, in Toastmasters that I gave, after coming back from not speaking for 20 years, I stood up there with my notes, really, really, really nervous. I start speaking and I started shaking so violently. We are talking like a grand mal seizure, standing up, like shaking. And it didn't help that I had like these stiletto heels on for some reason. I don't know what that was about. But I shook for probably 45 seconds. And I couldn't even speak as I was shaking. The shaking was so bad, and everybody's mouths just dropped to the floor. But in that moment, there was a decision. I knew I was not looking good. It was not a pretty sight. But I also knew that if I chose to sit down, if I chose comfort and to be safe, then fear would have won. And I was sick and tired of living in that prison of fear. So I thought, you know what? No, I'm going to stand up here and I'm going to shake. And I'm just going to finish my speech, because the goal right now is to walk through my fears. The goal right now is to be the true Janice Burt, with all the flaws and the shaking and the forgetting my lines and the getting choked up and emotional. Just stand here and allow it to move through you and conquer that fear. So I did. And what I realized is that everybody around me, after my speech was over, they said, "Oh my gosh, thank you. Thank you so much." Because when I'm scared, when I have fear, I sweat, I stammer, I do this, I do that. And everybody was able to share from a real, true, and authentic place from their hearts. So I want to leave you with this. I want you to know that you are beautiful, that you are amazing, that you are more powerful than you think you are. I want you to come up with a new I am statement for yourself. So my new I am statement is I am a confident, powerful, and purposeful woman. I am a confident, powerful, and purposeful woman has replaced I am a loser, I am a failure, I am ugly. And it feels so much better coming from that place. I want to show you really quickly so you have a visual of this. The beginning I am statement and the end of your I am statement. Let me share my screen. So this is the beginning one. This is the I am worthless. This is how I felt, like a drowned rat is what I would most closely relate it to. Just dirty, ashamed, ugly, covered, protecting, sad, worthless. That's the image for that. And then I had in my mind's eye another image. As I started working through all this negative self-talk of myself, I saw myself on a cliff in a flowing white dress, overlooking the ocean, shoulders back, heart forward, confident, peaceful, loving, standing in love. And this was the image of that. So I went and had it recreated because that's how important it is to me to continually remind myself of who I truly am. And Marianne Williamson said it so fabulously. Our greatest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our greatest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. We are all meant to shine as children do. So beautiful women, go out into the world with your new I am statement. Be brave, be bold, be who you truly are, and we can change the world together. Thank you, guys.
Wow, Janice. Well, aren't we lucky and thankful that you set your intention to be an inspirational speaker last year? Because that you are, my friend, and you definitely inspired all of us. And I think all of us had tears along with you as you shared those things. And thank you for your vulnerability, and to all the women today for sharing their stories. Like, my heart is so full right now.